Well, hello. Looks like we're going to get started with today's nutrition talk. My name is Bob, and I am a CrossFit Level 3 coach at Maryland Strong Fitness and Nutrition and CrossFit Glen, Burnie, located in beautiful downtown Odenton, Maryland. So today I'm going to present a topic on building balanced meals. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the slides that we put together for you. And we're going to cover some basic things. Today's talk is probably just about 15 minutes long, maybe a little shorter, depending on the questions that we might get. So let me share my screen. I'm going to share screen. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about building a balanced meal. So we've got 4 simple steps for you for building a balanced meal. So my opening question to you, you can put this into the chat, or if you're watching after a recorded video, we'd be happy to hear, are you currently balancing your meals and snacks? Keeping our meals balanced with a source of protein, carbs, and fats is so important to feeling satisfied, having sustained energy, and being able to, basically to stay fuller longer. And not only do they provide us with the energy that we need, they help us to grow, to recover from work that we do or workouts we do. And most importantly, all of our metabolic functions. So understanding how to build a balanced meal with portion sizes that would be needed will establish a foundation for good health. So step number 1 is to pick your protein source. Protein. Protein provides us with important amino acids, which are the building blocks, the key building blocks to building muscle and also recovering. Not to mention, protein helps us to stay full and feel more satisfied. When it comes to protein sources, focus on including lean proteins with your meals, such as chicken breast, turkey, egg whites, or fish. Just be aware of the high-fat protein sources that can provide upwards of 5 grams of fat per ounce of protein, such as like a ribeye steak or chicken wings. It's okay to have those on occasion, but we just don't want to be eating those all the time. On average, protein provides about 4 calories per gram and should compose about 30% of our daily intake of calories. So please note that everyone's individual protein needs may vary. So here is our food options guide for protein sources. And these protein sources are categorized by the fat content from lean to moderate, and then there are more fatty sources of protein. And so we would favor the lean and the moderate for most of our protein source needs. Step 2, our favorite, choose your carbs. All right, here's an amazing picture of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, that's the nutrient or the macronutrient that gets the bad rap. Many foods fit under the carbohydrate umbrella. For instance, fruit, sugar, bread, pasta, grains, and even starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes and butternut squash. Carbohydrates break down into glucose, which your body uses as its preferred source of fuel. So our bodies require carbohydrates to daily fuel our brain. Carbohydrates provide 4 calories per gram, and we should aim to get 30 to 40% of our daily calorie intake to be comprised of carbohydrates. And also, everyone's going to be individual, and everyone's individual carbohydrate needs can vary. So here's our food options guide section that we have on carbohydrates. And they fall into two categories. The starchy carbs that I have there on the left, the low glycemic and moderate glycemic, and the non-starchy or volume carbs. It's important to understand the difference between these two when you're building a balanced snack. So if you look at these, the non-starchy carbs are a lot of our vegetables like artichokes or broccoli. Lettuce is a popular one that people will get in salads, peppers, radishes, rhubarb, spinach. And these are typically low in sugar and high in fiber, and they tend to provide a lot of the vitamins and minerals that we need. And if I look at the starchy carbs, those are going to be a little more dense with calories. Acorn squash, butternut squash, beans, our fruits. These are going to provide more carbohydrates per how much you eat. And I love those squashes because they provide a lot of vitamins and minerals as well, especially because as the plants are growing, especially the winter squashes, the plants, their roots are in the ground so long during the season, growing those fruits and absorbing all those minerals that we need in our diets. So step number 3, add in some healthy fat. So let's see, what are the healthy fats that we should be thinking about? Fat, contrary to popular belief, doesn't make you fat. Fat actually helps you to stay fuller longer and absorb important fat-soluble vitamins. However, fat is the most calorie-dense of the 3 macronutrients, carbs, protein, and fat, where fat is weighing in at 9 calories per gram compared to 4 for carbohydrates and protein. So remember, a little bit goes a long way. We also want to choose plant-based sources of fat, such as avocado and olive oil, and we want to aim for those fats to comprise about 30 to 40% of our daily intake. And please note that individual fat needs may vary. So here's our food options guide section for healthy fats. So do you see some of the fats on here that you like to have? Almonds, avocado oil, olive oil, some of my favorites. Oh, and pistachios. Step number 4, finally, portion your plate. Now, before I get into how to portion our plate for lunch and dinner using the plate method, I just want to talk about breakfast a little bit. Most of our convenient breakfast options are loaded with carbohydrates and have very limited protein in them. And so when figuring out what is for breakfast, the first thing I look at is what source of protein am I going to consume? So for breakfast, you might have eggs. This is going to contain protein and fat. Now we just need some carbohydrates. And I would recommend, this is something I like to do, adding in some non-starchy veggies and creating an egg scramble, and then pairing your eggs with some fruit. Great way to have a balanced meal and start the day off right. So let's look at the plate method. Again, this is one of our easiest and most effective methods for improving our diet by eating a balanced meal of high quality foods. The plate method is a great rule of thumb when eating out or just whipping up a quick meal to have at home. And so here's how you do it. You make your plate. Half of it should be your non-starchy veggies, and a quarter of that should be your lean protein. And the final quarter of that plate is your starch. Then you can just add in a healthy plant-based source of fat. And sometimes that fat is going to vary the amount you add because you might, your protein source might be bringing in some of that fat as well. And so here's some pro tips for eating your plate. Eat your non-starchy veggies first, then you would eat your protein, and then lastly, you would eat your starch. And if you're still hungry, go back for more starchy vegetables. So thank you guys so much for checking in with us today and our little nutrition talk. And if you have any questions or would like to know what is right for you, I would encourage you to set up a coffee with one of our coaches, get together with one of them, and they will work for you to create an individual plan to help you to develop those healthy lifestyle habits that are going to make all the difference in the world. So thank you guys and have a good day.
Inactivity and poor nutrition steal away energy, make clothes fit poorly, and can even hurt relationships. CrossFit Glen Burnie provides the accountability, structure, and activities that help individuals lose body fat, gain confidence, increase performance, and reclaim health. CrossFit Glen Burnie delivers results for life.